Angry demonstrators in Serbia have attacked parliament, burnt cars and fought with police over the imposition of a country-wide lockdown. Many of them say they understand the risk posed by the pandemic, but they're critical of the government's response.
No matter, I understand this is not a good place to be. We all have to have masks, and we have to make sure that we are on distance. However, this is too serious not to be here, not to say it's enough.
President Aleksandar Vucic had earlier lifted restrictions on the movement of people, citing a drop in COVID-19 cases. But protesters accuse him of using lockdowns to stifle the opposition and ensure an election victory for himself in June.
I don't have a problem with the lockdowns, but I do have a problem with lifting it for elections and then reimposing it.
Our government is simply looking after its own interest. The people are just collateral damage.
The opposition also says authorities are using disproportionate force against them. It's an oft-repeated allegation against Vucic, but in the past, his supporters have touted his economic policies as justification for his style of government. This time, though, things may be different. The International Monetary Fund expects Serbia's GDP to shrink by 3% this year, compared to an earlier expectation of 0.2% growth. Foreign investment is also expected to drop from 7.8% of GDP last year to 4.4% this year. That could worsen inequality at a time when the richest 20% of Serbians earn nearly 10 times more than the bottom fifth of the population. The protests have forced Belgrade to suspend the lockdown while authorities think of other ways to contain COVID-19. But Vucic isn't offering any olive branches to demonstrators.
There was an involvement of various criminals and international intelligence services. We have to deal with it in an incomparably more serious way.
The crackdown on dissent and more business closures to slow down the pandemic could lead to further economic hardships. And that could fuel more protests just when the government most needs to keep people off the streets. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
Well, for more on this, Darko Trifunovic joins us now from Belgrade. He's director at the Institute for National and International Security. Welcome to the program, Darko. Now, we've seen the incredible scenes of thousands of Serbians taking to the streets there in Belgrade and elsewhere. Why are they deeply unhappy with President Vucic's handling of the pandemic?
First of all, thank you so much to allow me to share opinion with you. Exclusively my opinion. Election is done, and we have now a lot of people on the street, like few thousand people on the street, demonstrating from the various reasons. One is they are not satisfied with the government measure against COVID, but some strong ultra-right, let's say, wings, they are there because of the Russian Secret Service. Military intelligence, they want to stop Serbia on their way to the European Union. And because Russia is not part of negotiation, Russia traditionally kept Serbia as its own slave in the Balkan Peninsula. And Russia want to trade because of their influence to our nation for their own interests for Crimea and other places that they occupy a few years ago. So what we can see, the strong right, ultra-right nationalists attached to Russians, they are now attacking our police. In every country, police has a right to respond. And we will see in the next few days, we'll have a lot of arrestings. We have a government official statements that Russian and their services are involved. And we actually saw the similar situation when Russia misused the Serbian church and Serbian people in Montenegro to undermine Montenegrin government. So the same scenario is now visible on the streets of the cities of Serbia, and I think this is a final signal that era of Russian dominancy and the pro-Russian antagonists, we are seeing them. They are showing their face. They are destroying the face of our nation. Okay. They are destroying the face of our capital. Yes.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Darko. That's quite an incredible claim there, that there are outside forces, Russian-backed groups involved in these protests. Is there evidence to support that claim?
Yes. First of all, most of the opposition leaders they were banned to be there, to show their statement, etc. Most of the opposition leaders, they were beaten by these ultra-nationalists, like Vuk Jeremic, like Mr. Trifunovic, Sergei, famous our actor. So what we are seeing, it's basically football fans, narco dealer clans, and of course some criminals, either from Montenegro and from Serbia, but mostly by Serbian origin. So they are field-following agenda, and most of these, as I said, ultra-right nationalists, they are Russian exponent of their policy here.
Okay, Darko Trifunovic from the Institute for National and International Security. Thank you for joining us from Belgrade.
Thank you so much.